Oh man, you guys totally missed all the good stuff. Man, you should have been here for that. We're live, by the way.
Oh, God damn it.
We've been live for 30 minutes.
Oh, we are live. Son of a bitch.
Yep.
How long have
You guys totally missed that. That was crazy. Oh my god. Nintendo's going third party. They're gonna only be on Sony platforms from now on. It was crazy. B-dubs with the crazy leaks.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy.
B-dubs is here, guys.
Hello.
By the way, this is the Toonami Escape Podcast, episode 146. I'm Greg Zeno. B-dubs is here. C-Kohler is also here.
Hey, guys. 147 or 146? Is it 147 or 146?
It's 146.
I thought it was 147.
No, because last week was 145. I know that because last week was the one.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, last week was... Yeah, that was some shit last week.
Crocodile's also here.
Hello. Again, I guess.
I missed you, buddy.
I missed all of you, too.
We're here to talk about Toonami, including Attack on Titan, because do you want to know when it's coming back? Because it definitely is May 25th.
They've announced that for Toonami?
Yes.
When did they do that?
Oh, right.
Today.
Yeah, the other day. Zeta posted a... Oh, wait, that was today? I thought that was yesterday.
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was yesterday.
It was today or yesterday. I forget.
Crocodile, you didn't see this?
I did not see this. I was in the thread today. I did not see this.
Zeta posted a link to Facebook yesterday.
It was probably, I guess it was on the previous page and nobody has been discussing it today. So
yeah, because like Facebook does a weird thing on Dark Theme where you can't really read it.
Yeah.
I've been after the tech guys and they're like, it's not on our end, it's on Facebook's end. We can't do nothing about it. So,
But yeah, like completely unsurprisingly, yes, of course, Attack on Titan's coming back.
So when does it start again in Japan?
April 24th. So we're getting about
a couple days.
We're gonna like before. We're gonna be about 4 episodes behind.
So it comes back next week in Japan. Wow, that's a lot sooner than I thought.
Well, it's actually late because it's like coming in like 3 weeks after all the other shows started.
Oh, you're right. The season's already started.
Mm-hmm. This is not a great season, by the way.
Yeah.
One Punch Man sucks.
I haven't watched any of it yet. I was hoping it wouldn't be garbage.
There's no, from what I've seen, there's not much reason to watch the next one, the new season, unless you like watching Fubuki's tits jiggle or something. Apparently they nailed that, but the fight scenes had to suffer or something.
But hey, Carol
as
Tuesday is really good when you get to watch it legally in December.
Hey, well, I
only know this because yar.
Well, as long as they nail the final fight in the arc in One Punch Man, I'm okay.
They're not going to. Why would you think they like? Animation tends to get worse for given how production schedules tend to go.
But look what happened.
It gets shittier usually.
But look what happened to Black Clover. They had like the one episode of good animation.
I could see them. I could see One Punch Man doing an episode of Sakuga, which is ironic for that show,
Because it was permanent Sakuga in its previous season?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the one show that should be all Sakuga all the time.
Also, Sarazan Mai is gonna be a thing.
Is that the one of the Kappas?
Yeah,
right?
That's the one with the Kappas just holding up a purple orb that says "butt." And
I haven't seen that one, but a friend of mine was saying that it was speaking highly of it.
B-dubs, it's from the guy who did Utena and Penguin Drum.
Ooh.
It's his new show.
That's actually pretty interesting to me. I'm gonna sit down and watch that.
It is literally about 80% people talking about the anus. Because turns out Kappas are weird.
They are.
There's a Kappa about to show up in One Piece.
Oh, you're right. But that's totally just gonna be a fish man.
No, I think it'll be a Kappa.
Oh, I forgot. I haven't read that chapter.
You're talking about the latest One Piece Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the manga, they haven't revealed the character yet, but it's been pretty well established or not established is the right word, but like hinted at that this character is going to be a Kappa.
So do they have the Kappa fruit, or are they just like naturally a Kappa?
It's not clear. We don't know yet.
They will probably never tell you.
Like I'm legitimately thinking it's just going to be a fishman that's looks like a Kappa.
Sure.
Because like we've already got fishmen, so why the hell not?
Well, they're in Wano. That's the reason why not.
I mean, yeah, that's fair point.
I am thinking to myself, I'm in kind of a cold point in my One Piece fandom where I have gone multiple days forgetting I haven't read the chapter, and that's
I will say this much. I knew going in, and it's pretty much played out exactly as I expected. I was not excited about Wano, and I like it enough. I guess it's okay, but like it is exactly the level of tepid interest I've had that I expected, because it's just Oda going 110% all in on Japanese culture,
Right.
and I'm just like whatever.
I mean, I think.
Here's the dude who collects weapons on the bridge.
Yeah, like okay, it's all the pieces are there for this to be absolutely crazy in the climax. Like Big Mom's there, and Kaido's there, and Luffy's fucking training, and he's gonna get even stronger now. And like he literally fucking sees the future at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, be careful now. Some people might not have read it, but
well, I mean, if they read the previous arc, they'll know that Luffy sees the future now.
My problem with it is that it's not doing anything with like a twist or like a take on it. It's just like almost like really the only thing is that like the world looks like an ukiyo painting, and that's about it. Like
I would say that basically Oda's known for his generally creative takes on concepts and ideas and people. But what you're saying is that Wano could be found in pretty much any Japanese manga.
I mean,
it's basically his love letter to Japanese history, and that's what it seems like. And I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it's got dragons and stuff, but like,
I think
that's it.
I mean, I feel like
it feels a lot like playing Okami again.
Yeah,
like it feels like right now he's just sort of putting all the pieces on the board.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the world building. I'm talking about the place.
I know what you mean.
It's just not interesting to me. Like you go from something wacky and crazy, like Whole Cake Island, which was like this mashup of Willy Wonka and the freaking Alice in Wonderland, and you go to this, it's just kind of boring,
I just realized that Zoe was basically just like 1/4 Discworld.
It really was.
By the way, I started Discworld because...
Why not?
Because I was like, I might not be able to do my job while still getting paid for my job soon. So I need to start getting books. Here's a 46-episode fantasy series.
I actually haven't read Discworld yet.
You should read Discworld.
I will pick it up over the summer. I'm not going to have anything to do.
There's a lot of Discworld.
I mean, I'm going to have work and this admin crap, but I'm not going to have class over the summer, so I'm going to need something to read.
Yep. And what was there was another... So, yes, Attack on Titan's coming back on May 25th. This, by the way, will mean it's coming back before any show ends, so that rerun slot's definitely going away.
Yeah.
The Titan rerun slot, you mean?
Yes.
Attack on Titan's kind of this weird thing where I like the show, but I know where it's going, and it kind of makes me look at it like...
side-eye.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no idea where it's going, so...
Yeah, I don't either, and I'm like, I can only base it off the last 2 seasons, which have been great. So I'm just going to go in with like a hopeful mind.
Ironically, it appears that less ironically, it appears that the basement might be the point where it all falls apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's not uncommon of a lot of series where they build up a particular person or concept or place an idea. They get there, and the thing keeps going, and they're like, the author never really planned that far ahead, so they're just like making sure it's going along. Like, and then the dragons arrive, and then
I mean that's the thing. Like, it feels like it's very planned out, but
this is more a thing where he's like, oh, of course they're gonna find a huge twist at the basement. And then the twist happens, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. And then you think about it for a little while, and you're like, that's really problematic, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I guess I'll just have to see what you mean in that sense.
Yeah,
but I'll agree
I mean,
with Kohler in
I'm
that
looking forward to seeing it.
second and third seasons were an improvement on the first season.
They were absolutely an improvement on the first season. It's just one of those things where after the basement happens, it's kind of just like, wait, what's going on now? You know? And that's kind of been my reaction chapter to chapter, and I'm keeping in mind that okay, there could be a huge twist that makes this all okay, but with every chapter it doesn't happen. I'm like, it hasn't happened yet. Is this going to happen, or is this just going to end with, you know?
So you needed to twist back, or just twist in a different direction. That's
like because
better.
right now
you have to be careful to ask these kinds of questions to
Right,
B-Dubs because he'll just tell you.
No. I'm not going to say it this time, but
C. Kohler is saying that B-Dubs is the one who leaked that endgame footage.
I am. No.
Do the twist.
But in this case, it's sort of heading in a direction that's sort of problematic to an almost hilarious extent. And everyone's kind of expecting it to sort of twist back to a direction that's perfectly fine and okay. And then every chapter it doesn't happen. I just kind of look at it like, man, they're just running out of time here, aren't they? Is this going to happen, or is this just going in, or are they just playing it straight? Because if they're playing it straight, it's kind of like, wait, what's going on here now? And if it's a twist, like if they're doing a twist, it's very much like, oh man, you had me. I really thought you were gonna.
I thought you were gonna do bad thing, but you actually did not bad thing.
Yeah, like I really want to like where this is going, and it's gonna entirely depend on the ending, whether or not sort of we remember this series as this great thing, or as this thing where it's like, man, we should have known about this guy beforehand.
So yeah,
it's just a really weird thing.
This tracks with this whole when it's coming back tracks with what I was thinking, that they wanted either Hunter x Hunter or JoJo back there to turn into a rerun.
Probably, yeah.
Because they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna do. Like, they're not gonna replace Hunter x Hunter at the very back.
Right.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
So do we expect Hunter x Hunter to just repeat from episode 1 and become the back?
I expect Hunter x Hunter to end. I expect something to rerun after it. I don't necessarily expect it to be Hunter x Hunter. I don't know.
Cool. Hunter x Hunter would be a good rerun.
It would. I just don't. I just think that you could instead get a rerun of something else. They haven't. Have they rerun season 2 of IBO yet? They did that.
Started to, and then it stopped to replace with something else.
Oh yeah, it got canceled in the middle. It got dropped. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm open to being surprised at that if they get it. I'm opening to them getting a new show and just shoving Black Clover, Boruto, and Naruto at the bottom, and then it's like, man, you were really tempting me to never talk about those shows again.
No, that would really be nice.
The only sucky thing about season 3, part 2 of Attack on Titan coming to the block is I think some of the other shows I really enjoy being up higher are going to get pushed down 30 minutes. That's the only thing that bothers me about it. Unless they extend the block, which is possible, but
Hunter x Hunter is going to be at 3:30 for a few weeks.
They could also just put like Black Clover and Naruto Shippuden where they belong in the trash, but I guess the ratings.
No, that's not happening.
That's asking too much.
It's bad to want things, apparently.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to get a few weeks of no rerun at all, and then Hunter x Hunter ends. Here's a rerun of something. Life continues. Nichijou is getting a dub.
Yay! That's actually a really funny series. I'm shocked it took them this long.
I've seen it. I love it. It's weird. It's hard to dub.
It really is.
It would be a hard dub show.
People have said that most of the gags are visual, and so that it wouldn't be that hard to dub. But if you guys disagree,
I think there's a lot of cultural humor that might not translate well, and then I think there's actual literal jokes. Some jokes that just
like
or Japanese language jokes that would be difficult.
Well, like puns don't translate very well. Like they're probably the hardest thing to do. Because,
but you're right that there's a lot of visual humor that would just work. I think there's also just weird behavioral things that characters do that don't really translate either because of just
I think that stuff will do okay.
Social norms in Japan. I mean, if you're an anime fan, it would be perfectly fine. But I think if you aired it on Toonami, it would be a little awkward, kind of in the same way Pop Team Epic was awkward.
No, Pop Team Epic was good though.
I mean, it was fun. Like we needed that sort of breath of fresh air.
I just mean that like a lot of the humor just didn't make sense.
It is weird that they're putting this dub out after they already put out a Blu-ray.
Yeah, so now people have to buy
that. That is weird.
Dub. Now they're releasing a new Blu-ray set with the dub.
That actually makes me really gears start turning when you say that, because it is. There's what is the impetus then to make it dubbed? Then that's really the question.
Maybe the Blu-ray sales actually were good enough to. We should actually do this.
Yeah, I think so. It was probably they had really better sales than they were expecting, and were like, oh, we should actually spend the money and dub it.
And it is probably going back to, it's also probably a thing where now Funimation is completely divorced from everyone else.
Yeah.
So now it's like, we should probably have a dub of this in our library, huh?
Just for more content?
Yeah.
How old is the show?
It is from 2011.
Huh.
Oh, God. I'm old as hell, aren't I?
Yes.
But like you say, it's from 2011. I'm like,
my first year of college from 8 years ago.
I mean, that wasn't my first year of college.
Oh God.
But like, I remember sitting and watching that while I was like doing midterms and shit. I'm like, God, I'm fucking old. But not as old as Monkey Punch. God bless that guy. That was a horrible transition.
That was terrible. Hey, you know what my favorite Disney villain song is? Hellfire.
Oh, because of what happened in...
Yes, that was also a bad joke. So the creator
of a terrible joke. What the fuck, man?
I don't know.
The creator of Lupin the Third has died.
He was 81.
Isn't it? Yes.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yes, he was 81. You say that like it was like, fuck that old guy.
I didn't say it like that. I'm just saying he's old. He's not like. I'm not saying he can't live to be 100. I'm just saying that when people reach the age of 80, it's not uncommon.
I mean, okay, like to be fair, I thought he was dead already, so this came as a bit of a shock.
I mean, he didn't die of old age. I will say that. I think he died of pneumonia. Infection. Yeah.
Right, but pneumonia kills you when you're at that age, whereas when you're like 30, it usually doesn't.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, It's like an 81-year-old person dying, while tragic, is not unexpected.
Okay, that's true, but like, I don't know why you bring it up. Like, it just seems
I'm just saying. I mean, like, because I don't know, because a second ago you guys were talking about the fact that like we were condemning or we were making light of him dying, and I'm like, well, I'm not making light of it, but it's not it's not a surprise. I mean, the guy's old.
This is weird as hell.
I have my grandfather is
like this whole thing went off the rails.
I just said this whole podcast off the rails. That is not how we expected that.
Out.
It was never on the rails to begin with, honestly.
No.
Yeah.
But yes, I personally don't know too much about the history of Monkey Punch, whose real name I think Grex already said.
No, as far as I know, that is his real name.
Anyway, but like I've always been a big fan of the Lupin series. It was one of the early animes I saw, and I've always just been impressed of how the series has kind of remained relevant and enjoyable from back when it was created in the 60s or 70s all the way up to now. And it's been also impressive how it's not just been like remake after remake after remake, like a lot of shows have been brought into modern times, but it's actually updated. For example, they had a recent season of Lupin last year, and like the main villain was basically Mark Zuckerberg, and I was just kind of impressed that they're able to make that kind of work.
I think that's because Japan has a lot more like of these like serialized shows where it's just like we could just keep doing this forever.
Like with Lupin, it's this interesting thing where you can basically take the characters out of the age that they were put in, and then sort of put them in whatever present time you're in, and the word
you're looking for is timeless.
Yes,
tiny
Yeah,
exactly.
there's not a lot of shows, anime or not, that can do that, and so that's just
Right.
impressive. Like I don't know how much he was involved with the later seasons or series,
Like
but even just the base concept of these that he created
It's
that will
like
persist till now is impressive.
And
Lupin
it's
the
no-
Third, Part 6. Lupin
it's-
and the crew interfere with the United States presidential election.
yeah.
they could do that. Yeah.
It's no surprise
That was a
that
plot point in the last season. You realized though, right?
right.
It was like not exactly, but it was like
It was
really
close enough. Yeah.
There's no surprise that like literally James Bond showed up because it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same kind of like an archetype
Right,
character
yeah.
that is
Oh my
timeless.
god! I
Like-
just
like-
realized. Lupin the
Um,
Third meets the Familia.
They could do that. They actually did at one point Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan, and it was very good.
yeah. I heard about that
Lupin
movie,
the
but never got a
Third
chance to see it.
Detective Pikachu.
They could do that too. I mean,
Ugh.
like
Wait,
they
Detective
could get
Conan versus Detective Pikachu, or Detective Pikachu versus Lupin,
All
or the three-way
hell,
like
all three.
battle royale.
battle royale that bitch. No, but I mean, it's like Lupin is one of those sort of weird characters that is timeless. Like you can get away with doing whatever the hell you want with them. Like Castle of Cagliostro, or however the hell you pronounce it, is
That's a Miyazaki movie.
yeah, like the Miyazaki one is completely different than literally any other Lupin. It's just this weird thing where the character is such that it will literally fit in whatever the hell you want to fit it into, because it's just he's a master thief and he's awesome.
So what
You
you're
know?
saying is they should cross over with Scooby Doo.
They could absolutely do that and get away with
Oh
it.
man, you guys have seen the or read the Scoob and Shag webcomic, right?
I haven't.
Oh, you should. But
That
who
sounds
here
awful.
has?
I think you're the only one. Tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you guys.
Pre-
All right.
Preach to me, my friend.
Basically, a thing where it's kind of like that new Nancy.
No, it's like well, I would say like it starts off being kind of like memey and gaggy, but it eventually becomes like there's a reason the thread topic is called like Scooby Doo's like Ruby Roo's Adventure. Like there's a reason they describe it as that way because
So you're telling me that they fight cars.
well, to be honest, I think I'll call it more Hunter x Hunter with Looney Tune characters than I would call it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure of Looney Tunes characters.
This sounds amazing.
But it doesn't start that way. It starts like really like, oh, they're just making gag jokes, and then like all of a sudden it gets like really anime as hell, but in the JoJo Hunter x Hunter way, not the stupid shitty way. But yeah, but the reason I bring it up is because
Ultra Instinct.
it would be hilarious if Lupin were to show up in a webcomic, because like there is like a little bit of anime in there that, well, there's like the concept is obviously has anime infused within it, but I don't really want to spoil things, but there's a little more anime in it than that. And so it would not be unreasonable for Lupin the Third to show up in that universe. And if he did, it would be hilarious. You should read the webcomic.
Actually, did you see the episode of Supernatural where they were in the Scooby-Doo episode?
Oh yes, and then like they come in and like I think one of the Scooby-Doo people is like, "Holy shit!"
I mean,
loud.
I heard about the episode, but I have not seen it.
oh, it's amazing. Velma is like the dirtiest person in that entire episode.
Guys, we
Well,
are so freaking off topic at this
Well,
point.
I know.
Hold on, hold
Like
on.
Dean spends the entire episode trying to get with Daphne, but then at the
Isn't that the Johnny Bravo crossover episode?
no, this is the Scooby-Doo one. Like Dean spends the whole episode trying to get with Daphne, only she's not into it. But Velma spends the entire episode trying to deny that she wants to spend the entire episode getting with Sam, and then at the end she finally gives in.
So were the original Scooby-Doo VAs like, or not the original ones because some of them are dead, but the current ones, were they involved with the episode?
I believe so, yes. It sounded about right. But I mean, apparently they went into that episode like 6 months before the season got announced. Like they got an early renewal and
prepared to just do it as a one-off.
Yeah, like it was absolutely just a one-off, and it was just spectacular. Like even if you don't watch the series, if you go watch it, it's absolutely hilarious.
So you don't need a lot of background in Supernatural to enjoy it, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, basically, you just go in knowing that they kill ghosts and their best friend is an angel, and that's all you need.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just haven't seen a Supernatural, I think, since season 8 or something. So I'm a little.
Oh no, that's fine. You're good then. Like, you go into it, and it kind of feels like something that's like, oh wait, is Gabriel back again? That son of a bitch. I love him.
All right.
So we should talk about Dragon Ball Super.
Before we do that, I would just say that rest in peace, Monkey Punch. Let's hope the next season of Lupin series 5 comes to Toonami, because it's pretty good and a lot better than season 4, which I know some people are like lukewarm on, and maybe they'll make season 6 or something. So
season 4 was pretty good. I liked it. It was up and down though, but it was the kind of series we needed on the block just to break it up a little bit.
I agree.
Because it's all just like dudes punching other dudes, and like,
well,
Lupin's not
I got
that.
a show for you. The Promised Neverland. I
guess.
All right. But yeah, season 5 would be great. It's better than season 4. And rest in peace, Monkey Punch. We can move on now.
Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super episode 106. Find him. A death match against an unseen attacker. Let's move quickly because I don't really care for this episode.
Wait, is that still called Unclean Attacker? Is that the name of the title?
Unseen.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's a little better.
He is unclean, though, because he's basically just a scrotum with eyes.
He really is. They needed to get rid of him real fast.
But they were really, weren't trying with these character designs for this episode.
They had to design 77 different people.
Try, man. Try. You have like hundreds of artists at your disposal. Like, fucking try, man.
You didn't think the Speedo wearing Blanca was a creative design?
Also, this is definitely a bunch of character designs made by 77 different people.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Well, I don't think that's unfair if you're representing 10 or 8 different universes. That seems not unfair. It's just make them not shit.
Well, these are probably some of the worst we've seen, I think.
Yeah, this is just like, man, fuck it.
Someone was like, they realized they got to the meeting for the episode, realized, all right, everyone's sharing new character designs, and then one of ours responsible realized they hadn't done it yet, and was like, oh shit, I forgot. So they're just like scribbling their notepad while everyone's being called on, and it's like, Miyamoto, what's your design? And he's like, it's Scrotum Man, and he has reflective powers. Yeah, that's what I came up with.
He has balls.
Now, I put a lot of fun to this.
I mean, like, all you have to do is imagine that Dragon Ball Z was based on these characters and how bad it would be. And you'd be like, no.
I mean, I remember saying when this was first coming out that it would have been better if they had done, like this was the end of a bunch of arcs introducing us to all these characters. But we didn't need a Scrotum Man arc, let's be real.
Honestly, I didn't think we needed a whole episode with these guys. It could have just been like a fourth of an episode,
Yeah.
I mean, if the execution was better, it would have justified episode, but the execution was not better, so it did not justify the episode.
I would like to see a good sniper battle episode from Dragon Ball, but this was not it.
No, it was not.
I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a really good sniper episode in an anime, and I think it was like Ghost in the Shell, one of the standalone complex.
Yeah, no. It was that episode.
No. What about Golgo 13? Every single episode.
I have not seen that series, so I couldn't tell you.
That's less of a intense sniper battle and more of a dude runs around carrying a giant penis replacement and then goes and has sex with beautiful women after blowing a dude's head off.
Well, I mean, Golgo 13 is basically the greatest sniper of all time, and then he fucks women. Because that's literally the entire character is how many people can he kill versus how many women can he sleep with in an episode. I just remember there was the one episode where they had the thing where he had the cops were trying to catch him and they fucking had him. They literally had him. They had the gun that did it. But he took the shot from like a mile and a half away, and it was between 2 different buildings. And they're like, there's no way he could have made this shot. And they're like, but we have the gun. And we have the legendary assassin. And it's the bullet from the gun. And That was a good sniper episode. Is all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Well, does anyone want to say any piece for TN?
TN, you were worse than Krillin.
He really was.
Mega scrub. Actually, do you guys see that video by Plague of Gripes just about how much Japan hates TN?
Oh really? Is that a thing?
So much.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, it was not like it's not like they're not like, oh, I have my sources from inside about how much Japan hates TN. It was kind of, joking about how the character has been so mistreated since the Dragon Ball days.
No, I mean, he's got done pretty dirty. Like Gohan beat him like he owed him money, and then even Master Roshi got 3 ring outs, and Tien like he gave his life just for the one.
I like the part where in Tien's introductory episode for this arc, Master Roshi outshines him.
That's the best fucking part.
I'm reading this Scoob and Shag thing, and Scooby-Doo just busted out the Mangekyo Sharingan.
That sounds amazing.
That's still the gag
phase this whole time.
Give me the link in the group chat thing. Oh, also, by the way, Nintendo just announced Joker's coming to Smash tomorrow.
Wait, what? A shadow drop? Well, it's not a shadow drop if you announced it. No, it is
Joker
a shadow drop.
from Persona 5 ready to steal hearts in Super Smash starting 4/17.
Motherfucker, like we've been waiting for this for like months, and it's just
we never saw it coming.
Well, like literally 8 minutes ago.
That's cool.
So is there Femme Joker? Is that not happening, or is that happening? Or
I have no idea.
You ask lots of questions that nobody here would know the answer to.
Hang on. Let me look at the. No. I put the link to the Twitter thing in the chat, and here's the video thing.
I bet that more than likely there will be like alternate costumes, but I don't know about the female thing. Personally,
I don't know. I can't. If I click this, won't do people just be hearing the trailer play during the podcast?
No, I don't think so. Like,
not if you have it real loud.
Before.
There's a Mementos thing, and that's pretty cool. Oh, his Super Smash is pretty good.
Okay, still don't spoil the trailer.
What is the stage?
After it's Mementos.
Yeah,
I
it's a
figured
Mementos
it. Dang
stage,
it.
let's be real.
Well, we knew it was Mementos. Didn't they data mine that?
I think
but I mean, it's still
a rumor
really
at that point. But yeah, it was logical. I just wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like Shibuya or something.
I've never actually played a Persona game, but
where the hell did he get a grappling hook from?
Stop spoiling the trailer.
I mean, that's
watch it.
You have to. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia, episode 45. What a twist! That's the title of this episode.
What a twist!
What a twist!
What a twist! Yes, thank you.
Robot Chicken.
No. Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I could not think of his name for some reason. The twist in this is that the dude, his marbles were actually in his mouth, not in his pocket.
Yes, they were.
That was clever as fuck, and then he just, bungled it by bragging. Like, I tricked you guys. I'm going to stand here and to her brag about how much I tricked you, and then he got punked. Well, I mean,
shit, there's me versions.
Well, the best thing in the episode was by far All Might's phone, his ringtone.
That was pretty good.
It's here. It's like,
call is here.
This is legitimately.
Oh yeah, the phone tier. That was pretty hilarious.
This is legitimately the worst thing All Might has ever done.
It's the best thing he's ever done. Are you kidding me?
You know what though? One thing about this episode that confused me, and maybe I just never put it together, is that I thought for a long time that the other teachers, except for like one or two, knew that All Might had this second form. But I guess they just all know.
All the teachers know about his second form because
they do now.
They have to know. No, they all knew from the start because they had to know for him to teach there.
Okay.
The staff.
But he never teaches. He never teaches in that form.
No, but he has to go to like the staff room in that form.
I thought he only told like a couple of the teachers.
Yeah, well,
you're thinking of the people who knew that he had about the true nature of his quirk and that he had passed it on.
Yeah, that's what I've realized is that The cop and the nurse and the principal are like the only or Torino, whatever his name is, Gran Torino. They're like the only ones who know what One for All is.
They're totally in on the secret.
But what I didn't realize is that all the teachers at the school also know that he reverts to his like shriveled form.
So like Eraserhead doesn't know about the transfer of power, knows about shriveled raisin.
Right.
But nobody outside the school knows about his shriveled form.
That's right.
Right, yeah. Correct. Because that would be obviously a huge issue.
Yeah, that it would be huge news. Like nobody knows about that quite yet.
I mean, it's such a thing where it happened. It might completely redefine the manga. You know,
I mean,
it might it could represent this changing of arcs. I'm going to stop it. You know, it happened eventually.
I was hammering the hint button over and over.
Just hint.
So yeah, everyone got really fucked up, and they're all in the hospital. Like, some people are still out.
Oh, and Momo put a tracking device on that Nomu.
That is clutch. She basically solved the entire arc.
Pretty much, yeah.
I didn't think she could make electronics, but I guess she can.
She can make the gas mask. She made the flashbangs.
I thought she could make anything that's non-organic.
She can make anything non-organic, but she has to know exactly how it's made, like at the molecular level.
She can probably do a very simple like microchip thing that you would put in your cat.
Yeah, that's the part that's really surprising to me. Like how she would know how to make a microchip. That seems
like she googled it before. She googled it before she got
into UA.
I mean, obviously, a tracking device is probably a useful thing to make. So
I know, but I'm just saying that like it's like she has to know the pattern in her mind. Like she has to do it from memory. That's really hard.
Right. Well, like I feel like if I had her power, that's one of those things that I'd commit to memory. Like, okay, this is how we make a tracking thing. Like, there's very few things that are complicated that I would be like, yes, I have to know how to do this, but I feel like the sort of tracking things is definitely one of those that I would do.
It's definitely a short list of useful items to know how to create offhand.
Yeah.
Yes. That is an extremely useful, like that's it's Momo starting her hero career as somebody's sidekick. It's like, hey, I put a tracking device on him. Great, you're super useful.
I mean,
she does have one of the better powers in the series. It's just the author doesn't do anything for her.
Yeah, I mean,
well, they did here, which is good.
Yes.
So now everyone's kind of like running around trying to decide if they're going to actually try and go save Bakugo or not.
Yeah. Oh boy, let's go save Bakugo.
I wonder what's going to happen in this shonen series. Wonder what's going to happen.
Even though they have the strongest superhero in the world, literally telling them, "Don't go, I'll handle it."
No,
they're going to go and handle it.
They can't be
my muscles. I've got this.
I don't blame them. I mean,
have they seen his muscles though? They are quite large.
They literally always see only his muscles.
He is muscle,
and not the non-muscles.
We're not talking about Mr. Muscle. We're talking about Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume that they're all going to sneak out and try to rescue him.
Yeah. I mean,
now, I was just gonna ask. So is this officially the end of the like retreat arc or whatever?
This is absolutely the end of like this camp part.
Okay.
Right.
I would consider this part of the same arc, but whatever is beneath an arc in the classification scheme of anime narratives, this is the end of that.
Okay.
Maybe plot thread. I don't know. That's a little more than plot thread, and plot threads can extend through arcs. Actually, now I think about it.
Yes.
MHA is a bit looser with arc stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some of the arcs are kind of like nothing really important will happen in them until like the very last moment, and then it'll be like, hey, look at this big thing that just happened that kind of like we probably should have happened earlier. but no, I mean, like, this sort of section of the series, from like the beginning of the Stain stuff to like the end of what's coming, is kind of, I feel like, the best portion of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Everything from the start of the tournament to the end of this next thing is killer.
I don't know about the tournament. I mean, I was kind of like,
Tournament's good, please. Please.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'll give you the
Get your
tournament.
opinions out of here.
Okay, I'll give you the tournament, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking at, sort of what comes after, and I'm like, this could be stronger. I mean, what comes after this next portion?
Yeah, I don't like the second half of this season at all. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what happened in the second half of the season, but maybe not best to discuss it for spoilers reasons.
Exactly. It's the license.
And then that girl shows up, right?
Yes.
Who's actually okay? All right, I'll stop. All right.
The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland, episode 1-121-045. So, C. Kohler, thank you very much for hinting me onto what these episode titles are, their dates.
Oh, you're just gonna tell people, huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask actually if they were like serial numbers or like
I thought they were just deciding to take one of the kids' serial numbers and put it on the episode title, but it's dates.
Okay, so it's like with Hunter x Hunter during the York New thing.
Yes.
Where it's just all dates.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's more mysterious when you don't know what they mean because it's just interesting, but I guess it's not technically a spoiler to say this because it's not relevant outside of you just. I mean, it's a spoiler to know which episode takes place on what date. So
right.
This episode takes place on either December 10th, 2045, or October 12th, 2045.
It's October 12th.
Okay,
Right.
I figured it didn't look like.
And the reason it's not a spoiler is because they show the calendar 3 times in the episode.
Oh, you're right. They do.
I didn't even notice that.
They did every time they did the close up and they showed Connie's date, her birthday,
Yeah.
and it was like circled. Well, it was I don't know if it was her birthday. I don't know if it was a birthday or if it was just that was her adoption day. But yeah, it was the calendar every time. So and that's the last spoiler that's gonna be in this podcast.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
By the way, they're food for demons.
That's not a spoiler because that was revealed.
I can't remember who. Someone like just kind of dropped that, and like I just heard about that via cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would like been shocked if I didn't know that already going in. I think I would just like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I feel like you're gonna like at the end of episode 1 or chapter 1, you're thinking, okay, something's here. Obviously, something's really up. It's probably this.
So did this one episode cover the entire first chapter? I know a lot of manga have a larger first chapter than normal.
Oh man, dude, the cool thing about this series, these 12 episodes, is that it's like, and I'm not even joking, it's like 30 chapters worth of stuff. So
Wow.
it's a lot of content packed into each episode.
I
think the final episode or episode 12 of this season actually ends on like chapter 37.
That's pretty good.
But you said it's well paced overall, not too fast, not too slow.
No, I would say it's really well paced. Some people say that the next 2 episodes are a little slow, but it's a lot of exposition, and so I kind of understand that. But no, the pacing is really good.
All right.
Someone compared it to, I saw someone online compared it to, basically it was anime Chicken Run or something.
Well, I mean, whatever.
Now that you say that,
I mean, okay, look, the basics that's laid out in this episode is pretty obvious. Emma and Norman have discovered that the Gracefield house is actually a place where children are raised to be food. They're being harvested. And so now they have to escape, and Emma is dead set on getting everyone out. And so that's the premise right there. You've said it. That's it.
So basically, it's a farm state, but with people instead of non-people.
I mean, Soylent Green is people, to an extent,
So have they? I don't want you to reveal.
I will answer this question, but I will do it in a way that won't spoil anything. Go ahead.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So, do they explain why humans are cattle for monsters or aliens or interdimensional beings or ghosts or whatever the hell they are?
All right.
Not
The
in
answer-
this season.
Not in this season, no. But it will get explained one day. Yes.
Okay, okay. That's fair.
But yeah, so
I will say I felt they executed a good sense of tension throughout the episode. I thought the camera work kind of was usually compelling and worked towards the aim. I think the big detraction to me was sometimes art style. Like it looked like they often didn't have noses, which kind of they made them a little too cutesy, which kind of I felt detracted from the kind of quasi horror vibes they're trying to display from time to time. I know sometimes people like that kind of contrast, but I'm not sure if it worked super well here. But I'm not sure if that's so much an artifact of the manga's original art style, or if the anime staff kind of dropped the ball on that, or just whatnot. But that's something that I noticed and I felt.
Somebody in the thread made a good. Somebody in the thread made a good point that actually the character art is actually much more consistent in the anime than it was in the manga, where it was a little more being figured out in the early days. So
yeah, I mean that usually happens. So
yeah.
But it wasn't anything drastic in the manga as it was like say JoJo Part 4 manga, right?
No, nothing, not really. I mean, like the first image that you see on the cover or the cover of the first chapter of Norman and Ray do not look like Norman and Ray. They're very different looking characters, but on the whole, it's pretty consistent, I guess. Yeah.
I agree that this first episode has a lot of good tension, and it's like dramatic tension where something's not right, but none of the characters do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they kind of when they get to that scene where they're reflecting on the short little fence in the middle of the forest is kind of when they're that these kids are smart. They're really smart, and I think this show does a good job of making it so that you don't think like, why didn't these dummies ever think of this? They were thinking about it. They were always wondering. It's always a weird thing. So yeah, I love that they kind of like set up this idea that they're like, hey, this is a little strange. What's going on here?
Right. I mean, at the same time,
Why
like
are we
they're
taking all
smart.
these weird tests, and why are we just running around talking about strategy all the time?
Right. Like it's kind of like they're smart kids, but at the same time, they're a little naive because they are kids.
Exactly. Also, for what it's worth, and there's really not much to read into this, but like it was said in this episode that Ray, Emma, and Norman were like they're all really smart. Of course, they're getting perfect grades and stuff. And it was said in the episode that like there's never been a trio like this. Like you know what I mean? At the same time,
a weird statement because it's like, okay, why? That's a weird thing to talk about in front of the kids.
Well, it's an offhand remark, but it kind of points to this idea that like it's like they it's like. Well, anyway, I don't want to. I guess I need to be careful here. I don't want to say too much. It's just other than the fact that it's like it's not common that you get three really smart kids together at once. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is also a weird thing to say, but they really animation and voice acting really nailed the complete terror of these small children.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job.
The animation stays really solid throughout the whole series too. There's no dips. It's pretty good. Voice wise, I think
Erica
it's all
Mendez is exactly what you expect. And
I think I'm the only person who doesn't feel that way.
But she did a good job.
She did a great job. I think her Emma is a little too high pitched for my tastes. But we'll see how it goes. I think Ray sounds exactly the way I expected Ray to sound in English. He kind of sounds a little like Killua.
I think they probably didn't want Emma to sound like Gon.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, she's definitely got to use her girl voice here, and it's just a little high pitched for me. But whatever, it's a minor complaint. She performed it great. Norman, I think, sounds way better than I expected from hearing the preview. And he sounds pretty much exactly what I would want him to sound like, because Norman's kind of a more frail kid, and so he doesn't have a real, manly voice or anything like that. He's got a very soft voice, and it's perfect for him.
Like it sounds like he's gonna just break apart at like the slightest wind.
The other only kind of controversial voice to me is because I think Gilda is really good, and you won't really see much of her until a little bit later, and then some of the other characters like Nat and others sound just fine. The only character I think is a little suspect though is Don's voice, and the only reason is that his voice sounds weird is because it's freaking Chitu's voice. And I think it hurts his character that we all know him as Chitu's voice.
You see, I've completely forgotten what Chitu sounds like because what's his face punched out of me.
Oh, you're right. Killua's dad just nuked him from orbit like a goddamn meteor.
He got nuked so hard, I forgot what he sounds like.
Well, that's a good thing.
You're right.
Because I really like Don as a character, but every time he talks now, I hear Chitu, and I'm like, oh god, it's Chitu.
I'm gonna take you on, demons.
Anyway.
Yeah,
but no, otherwise, seems like a pretty well-written show. I mean, they're doing a really good job with the voice flaps and making things match. And it's funny because I had just like watched the sub twice, and so I was really familiar with the dialogue and everything. And so it's interesting to see what changes they made. Not much in the way of the localization.
But this is what we expected. I don't think anyone expected the dub not to deliver. I think it would have been a surprise if it didn't. More so than. Not that we still can't praise performances. You know, they're still worthy of being commended.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just feel like I'm not surprised. I'm like, yeah,
that's cool.
Another good dub in the can.
I think the only reason is a little unusual is that there are some veterans like Erica Mendez and Christina V in here, but there's a lot of new people too. And then also, it's a real fast turnaround time. They really dubbed this quickly.
Well, no, because they basically put it out like after it ended.
Oh, versus a simul-dub, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Whatever happened? Wasn't there supposed to be a Mob Psycho season 2 dub at some point? I purposely didn't watch the season in Japanese to wait for it in English, but like it's the season's ended and there's still no English dub. So what's going on there? Did he say something?
No, we haven't heard about that. At this point, we're still thinking, hey, maybe Toonami soon. Or maybe it was weird getting the dub together. I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
Sword Art Online is also unfortunate. Sword Art Online Alicization, Episode 11, Central Cathedral. In this episode, I can't believe the Integrity Knights still do that thing where they tie you to a dragon with bondage gear.
Why don't they just put you in the back of the dragon instead of dangling you through the air? That's like some could. Oh, well, I mean,
are you gonna? It's like you wouldn't put the prisoner in the front seat of a police car.
Well, no, that's not. But no, this is more like if you were like in a wagon and you tie the prisoner to a rope and drag them across the road, which is usually how you kill them in one of the most merciless ways possible.
Not to defend the show, but I did not notice whether or not that dragon saddle had an extra seat on it.
I mean, they could have just made it a saddle with an extra seat. Like they just make everything like there's
tie them to the belly. Just
having them dangle in the air is just the stupidest shit. Like of the many stupid things this show does.
And also, she takes off, and then literally 5 seconds later, they're already there. Like I think I looked back up, and they were there. And in fact, I don't think there was a cut. I think it's because they actually were like there. Like the headquarters, like it's next door. So this was really unnecessary.
Well, them being dangled, as goofy as it is, isn't half as goofy as her name, Alice Synthesis 31.
God, that is so bad.
We're in a computer.
Who could tell?
So, I mean, I'll be honest. I was kind of like not really watching this episode because I was just so exhausted from the last week, and I was just like, fuck, this show's on the TV right now. So it was like on, but I wasn't like watching it. But I assume like Alice doesn't recognize Yu-Gi-Oh yet, right?
No.
She's been rewritten.
Yeah, like they messed with her brain or whatever.
Let's hoping it was consensual, unlike some of the other messing around.
No. About that.
But it probably was just like bloop. Hey, your brain's different now.
At least I hope that's what it was like.
Probably not.
Oh no. God help us if we have to have another one of those scenes this season. No.
But they
I thought I looked ahead. I didn't see anything.
I don't think there's anything like that I know of. Of course, I wouldn't have known this was coming back at the end of season 2 either. So,
well, I mean, it always, like we at least get one every season.
They escape from the prison because nobody realized that the chains can destroy each other because they have the same durability.
I still have no idea why this show isn't just a regular fantasy show and why they're doing you're in a computer thing. I don't get it. What is being added here?
That's what fantasy is in Japan right now. It's isekai. It's isekai.
Yeah.
You know what was good isekai? Futurama.
You're right, it is.
Kind of.
You know what
not Sword Art Online bullshit or whatever.
Harry Potter is the best isekai.
No, it's actually not an isekai.
Yeah, because it's not another world.
Right.
What's it kind of is because he gets.
I mean, no, it's
I know what you mean. It's not like another world, but like it is kind of like a world.
Isekai literally requires you to like it can't be the same. Just like, oh, I didn't realize there was magic in the world hidden. It's like I changed dimensions.
Okay.
Vision of Escaflowne was an isekai, though.
Oh yes, that actually is a decent isekai.
In fact,
before they were called isekais,
Magic
fantasy anime. But.
Yeah, Ray Earth was that.
Oh yeah, Inuyasha's. I guess Inuyasha is isekai, right?
Yes. No. It's kind of a time travel. Oh, by the way, mystical, like Japanese myth was true thing.
El Hazard is an isekai.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a very popular isekai.
An old school reference. That's you're pulling back way back.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm just saying this. It is though. It's also time travel though too. So.
I feel like time travel should count because the world is different enough. Like, what's the difference between time traveling? Like except for I guess now it's magic, but like, is there a difference between like time traveling to ancient Japan and there's demons, or just getting to another dimension that's ancient Japan, quote unquote, with demons? Is there really a difference?
Yes.
I mean,
there's a difference to Grex.
Isekai is like another world. Time traveling is like
Isekai is wish fulfillment targeted at like NEETs, because the entire point is that you are dying, reborn in another world that coincidentally basically functions exactly the same as one of your RPGs, and also you are amazing and every girl wants you.
I don't. Also, wait. Is that a requirement of being an isekai, or just something that
nowadays it kind of it. Nowadays, it's 90% of them.
I mean, most of them have it, but that I feel like that's not really required. I think it's just like you're in another world.
Yeah, like now then they're here, or if I think I got that right, that's an isekai, right?
Not really. Well, no, wait, it is. I think it is. Yeah, it's another dimension.
Okay, there's this one manga that's basically these two sisters get sent to another world, and then the story revolves around the sister that isn't the chosen one, and she basically spends her time cooking and flirting with the knight that's meant to protect her.
Okay.
That doesn't sound particularly interesting, but go on.
No, it's actually really good.
Well, I thought you were making a point about something being isekai, and you're just explaining that's another one.
We're saying that now that the isekai has been so firmly established as exactly what it is, you're getting all the different twists on it.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, for what it's worth, isekai literally means different world. It usually revolves around a normal person from Earth going to another parallel universe. Often this universe already exists and the protagonist's world is a fictional universe.
Yes. This is what I'm saying. It's like, oh, I got sucked into the game, or the manga.
Konosuba was an isekai. That didn't go, and the magical world wasn't known beforehand, right? I don't think it was.
Fantasy. It's fantasy in that regard. Then it's just like it's a fantasy world. It doesn't necessarily mean literally.
The article also says, comma, but it may also be unknown to them.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have the Wikipedia article open right in front of me, so.
But the point being, though, that like we understand as a general what fantasy is. Like, oh, fantasy, we know what that means. It's like it can be a lot of things, but it's usually dragons and swords and stuff like that.
At least there should be more like sci-fi isekais then.
I think that's what this is trying to be, honestly.
But it's shitty, and I hate it.
It is.
It's poorly written.
Bad.
But no, it's not, because he goes to
he
he uses his state-of-the-art computers to go to a fantasy world where you have elves and swords. They should be going to a fantasy world. Oh, I guess that was kind of Gun Gale, but they barely was in there, and Gun Gale sucks. I guess that's kind of Gun Gale-ish.
Yeah, I mean, like the first SAO was like a fantasy world. The second one was like much more fantasy worldy. It was like elves and stuff flying. And then there was Gun Gale, which was a shooter. And now they're back into another fantasy world again.
Well, they already 3 out of 4 have been fantasy worlds. I mean, they need to mix shit up. At least if you're gonna do fantasy, at least do like fucking Pirate World or some shit.
I think it would have been cool. I think it would have been.
Sword Art Online is now Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, the thing that would be cool. I mean, like, I don't know if it would help the writing, but setting-wise, it would have been neat if every version of SAO was like a different video game genre.
This season, they go into Devil May Cry.
Yeah, why not? If it has to be an MMO, I guess, but whatever.
This season they're doing Elder Scrolls Online.
No, that's exactly what they're already doing.
Yeah, they kind of.
No, they're doing. Oh, they should do.
No, this time they're doing Fantasy Star Online. They should do Fantasy Star Online. There we go. All right. Do we have anything more to say about SOA, or can we change it?
I don't want to talk about SAO anymore.
You don't want. My life is being drained.
You know, I actually thought it was kind of clever that they used the chain stick against each other to get themselves out.
I was gonna say that too. I agree.
But that was the one part of the episode that sticks out at me, and I was like, you know,
it's like that's the thing. That's the thing that only works because it's a game.
Yeah, I was like,
well, that's the thing that makes it kind of clever. It's like they're using the game mechanics against it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But people escape from prisons in a clever manner all the time. I don't really feel like giving them props here because durability and game glitches, and it's just, I don't know, whatever.
I mean, like, yeah, but it got them out, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, that, like, I'll give them, that was marginally clever. Like, when they were like, there's nothing as tough as these chains in this cell other than those chains, I'm like, well, then if you were smart, you'd just use the chains against each other. And then they did it, and I'm like, I feel like I at least got to give them, you know, for that.
These chains are made of diamond. Isn't that expensive? They're made of diamond.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like...
They're made out of armor from a space battleship.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Point from a season. Fuck.
Forgot about that.
That was
like
awesome.
that totally dropped that there's a space battleship in Gun Gale Online and nobody mentions it ever again.
And it never shows up at any point.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, episode 31, July 15th, Thursday, part 1. This is a bad... I wish they hadn't named this sequence of events this title. It's bad.
It is weird. I'm not sure what would work better, though, but it is weird.
I also wish they hadn't, like, shoved all 3 of these fights into one thing, because they don't actually even really do that. They just kind of, here's the transmission tower, and also 2 scenes from these other 2.
But, I mean, these are, like, a lot of these events are going on concurrently, so, like, you couldn't show the...
They didn't go on, they weren't concurrent in the manga. They just decided they were going to shove them all together.
Well, I don't know. I having already seen the Japanese version for this arc, I felt that this worked well. I thought these were a series of good fights, and the way they arranged things worked well, and it was generally understandable, and I enjoyed it. And that was true again when I saw this in English right now.
Yeah. Some people said that it's because these are some weak fights. I disagree. I think the next 2 are really good. But I do think the transmission tower is almost there, but not quite.
I thought that was a fine fight.
It's certainly different from what I've seen before. The visual of Jotaro or not Jos. I keep getting their names mixed up. Josuke. The visual of Josuke reaching out and then having his body become metal, like he's becoming part of the power line. Kind of neat. I definitely think that's a very cool visual.
Yeah.
And the whole idea that like the stand is tied to the object, and I don't know. There's some interesting things going on here. It's also like super JoJo-y in the fact of like this guy has been living up there for years.
Yeah. Also, like, just the random twist we put on this is that this dude lives here. This is his house. Yeah. The manga had an entire panel, had an entire like 2-page spread dedicated to detailing every single aspect of it, and it's amazing. Like, here's the TV, here's the couch, here's the shit, here's the shitter.
I mean, it was actually, you can, in true Araki style, it was obviously overly thought out how everything worked, you know?
Right.
But yeah, here's my other question though. Unless I'm mistaken, he continues to not want to go down on the ground, and I'm not really sure why.
Isn't that just because that's where Okuyasu is?
No, before he's even fighting them, he's like, I decided I'm never going to touch the ground.
Yeah, he's just got this like obsession with like I'm gonna never touch the ground ever again.
I live in this tower, not on the ground.
But
even as he's leaving the tower, he's like deciding that he's never gonna touch the ground.
But he said he touched the ground like a month ago to do some shit in the garden.
Yeah, I guess I should be more clear. Like, he's not saying he'll never touch the ground again. It's that he's just made a choice to do it as little as possible, which is, again, not explained or given really any good reason. He's just that way, at least as far as I can tell. Unless he has like a reason, unless this is like some like twist. It's like, oh, if he touches the ground, something bad will happen. I have no idea, but it seems like he's just a goofball. I guess nobody's saying anything, so I'll keep talking because maybe I've hit something. I don't know. But anyway, that's basically it. Them trying to figure out what the stand is, how it works.
Also, alien guy is there.
Yes. He's there. He turns into binoculars. I don't know what to make of that guy.
I like part 4 is great because it just has these characters who's like, what the fuck is up with this dude? Who knows? This is a weird place with weird people. And they show up.
That is a major improvement on part 3. And I'm going to be honest, so far, it's an improvement on part 5. In my opinion.
I haven't seen part 5 yet.
Part 5 is good. Part 5 is a better part 3.
But is it better enough to overcome part 4, which is better than part 3?
No, it's not better than part 4, but it is the concept of part 3 better, because now, remember, part 3 was like Jotaro, Joseph, and Polnareff, and also some cardboard cutouts.
Well, and mostly Polnareff.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, please be sad that Kakyoin died. It's like, he was a cardboard cutout, but he was our cardboard cutout.
Hey, don't forget, he loved moms.
He never got to shag Jotaro's mom. He probably would have tried to shag Josuke's mom too.
Like 100%. Like, there's no quite like, yes, obviously there's
Kakyoin the MILF Hunter. Black Clover. Black Clover episode 65. I'm home and I'm gone out the back door because Black Clover is here.
Black Clover. Has there been an arc in Black Clover that's ended in a way that was satisfactory? I can't think of one.
No, they're all horrible.
They've all kind of ended the same as far as I can remember. They all just end up back at their base just joking.
And one of the things where like, so that magic vampire who was trying to kill them like 2 episodes ago, they're now friends with him now. And then didn't they give the Ice Gara a drug to like drug his president of his nation or something? And they just like, oh yeah, we're gonna drug the president, and then like, it's gonna work out. And I'm just like, what?
Oh yeah, they were just like, hey, we're gonna take this mind control drug and take control of the country. Bye. Black Clover.
Do they come back to that? Because what the hell?
I don't believe they do.
I do think it's I don't understand, and I'm not interested enough to learn why they just completely forgive the smiling guy and the Queen of the Witches like at the end. I know that she did like heal them, but this was only after she tried to murder them, and so they're just all like whatever.
The only reason she did it was because like she like gave up to because of Vanessa's stand was too good. She's like, I quit, you win, and it was like, all right, cool.
They don't even condemn her.
Asshole.
Yeah, they don't even condemn her. They're just like okay, see ya, bye. And it's like, what? You should be really pissed at her. You're just gonna let that slide? All that shit she did? It's poor characterization. And the same thing with the smiling guy. Like, I don't think unless they said that the smiling guy was under the same kind of mind control that the pink-haired girl was.
No, he was not. He's basically just been like, I like to be on the winning team, and it sure looks like you guys are on the winning team. So I'm definitely gonna stab you in the back later, but for now, I'm a good guy. Definitely.
It's really not good writing.
People in the show make heel turns all the time, but they never make sense and are never satisfying.
The ice guy's heel turn or the crystal guy's heel turn was probably, as bad as it is probably better than either one of these, because at least he had a reason.
That didn't even make sense. Like,
well, he found the girl that he grew up with, and it's like, oh no, I should be helping her, not being bad. It's not a good reason. I'm just saying that's what it is. But it's better than like this smiling guy who's just, for whatever reason, just straight up just changes. And the fact that everybody's like okay with it is like, what? Oh, because I guess, you trained me, master, back in the day, remember? It's like, it's kind of written. I know this is a shonen, but it's very juvenile in the portrayal of these characters' motivations, because like in a perfect world, yeah, smiling guy would just they'd be all befriend him, and then that's what happens.
So yeah, let's talk about Boruto.
Yay.
Boruto, episode 26, the Mizukage's successor. In this episode, they visit the president's office. They visit the Oval Office. And some other stuff happens. I forget. It was late at night.
Yay. It was like, what's it called? Kagura.
Yeah, his name was Kagura.
Like having issues because clearly something's wrong with him. But he's going to succeed to the throne, the group of the seven swordsmen of the Mist. And then we saw also the old president, what's her name? Mai, who was a little older and fatter, and I guess she doesn't have a marriage thing about marriage
don't
anymore.
She's gonna kill you.
And then there was other nerd swordsman who's now Hokage, but like, why the fuck did he make him Hokage? He was like a fucking weeb in the previous season. I mean, series. Like, there was no, like, he didn't really have it. He was like, I was a story.
He literally was like, okay, I have to make some dudes from each village the Kage now. I forgot to add any cool water village people. Crap.
Oh, and then what's it called? The thugs came about a couple times and they kidnapped Denki and whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious the story here is that like everybody really is all in love with each other now in this post-war world, but secretly there's an underbelly to all this. There's people out there who still have the old hatreds. That's I think what's going on.
Yeah.
They're like, you Leaf Village scum, we're the Blood Mist Village.
This is Blood and Crips. It's just like
that. Yeah. That has the same tone as that Simpsons gif of the dude hitting the button and Russia turning into Soviet Union. It's like,
I will say there was one good moment where Boruto and Sarada share the grilled squid. I thought it was kind of cute. Sweet. And I guess there was some good animation when Boruto and Kagura did that sparring session. But otherwise, I can't really remember much from the episode or what I did remember is kind of like, meh, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I'm not excited about the story where it's going right now. I mean, it's still, again, like I've been saying, the show's watchable. It's not great, but it's fine. And I do enjoy like the main cast of characters enough that I want to keep watching. But yeah, this whole idea of the like, oh, there are the secret thugs that the Mizukaze doesn't know about that are trying to, cause rivalry. It's like, I don't care. I know where this is gonna go.
I will say that Boruto in general has been much better than the equivalent Naruto. So like it's not like it's not like Black Clover or anything. Like there's enjoyable things in the show, but this episode I wasn't really feeling it.
Yeah, me too. I haven't felt the last couple episodes, honestly.
Yeah,
but again, not bad though. There's always like a scene or two of something like Boruto or Sarada related, or even like, something with the white skinned kid. I can't remember his name. Mitsuki or whatever.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds right.
Yeah. There'll always be something with those characters that's entertaining enough that I'm like, okay, cool.
So, Naruto Shippuden, episode 245. The next challenge, Naruto versus the Nine Tails. In this episode, Naruto finally comes... He's accepted his shadow. He has persona now.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
You are me. And everything was solved. Now he has to beat the shit out of the demon inside of him, I guess.
I will say it was mildly humorous when he stuck his head in that thing and then acted like his head was cut off and freaked that dude out, and then it was like, there's just a button in there.
This is a requirement whenever something does that somebody has to stick their hand in there and be like, oh God!
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm just kidding. Even if that's totally not a thing that character would do, they have to do it.
So is this the part of the series where Naruto gets his flame cloak?
I think we are about to see. I mean, you mean the entire second half of the show is basically this arc, so kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That could happen anywhere from 50 to 200 episodes from now.
That's a lot of episodes.
And it's on very late, and I don't remember anything about this episode.
Shit, what happened?
The only thing I remember, they went behind the waterfall, and then there was this whole hidden city back there. And Killer Bee's there now, and he's willing to help.
Mm-hmm.
This Black Clover to Naruto hour and a half was brutal.
And it will continue to be brutal for the next however many weeks this persists.
It will continue. Eventually, it's going to be the back half of the block.
Yeah.
I think honestly, like we said earlier, I think the block's gonna end on Naruto, and that some of the shows in the block are probably gonna get shifted down half an hour when Attack on Titan appears. That's what I think is gonna happen.
The new stuff's gonna end on Naruto. I think they're gonna have a rerun.
I disagree. I think they're gonna ditch their rerun.
You think they're gonna replace Hunter x Hunter with a new show?
I don't know.
Well, is Hunter x Hunter gonna be over before?
I mean, it's gonna be over in about
like I said,
10 weeks.
Attack on Titan comes back before any other show ends.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Okay, but I think at some point when Hunter x Hunter goes, maybe that's when that shift happens. I'm talking about, but
okay,
whatever.
I just always thought that if you're going to put Hunter x Hunter, if you're going to go to the trouble of switching Naruto above Hunter x Hunter, you're just going to have Hunter x Hunter turn into a rerun slot.
I just don't think they need it. I think the only reason rerun slots exist is because they need to fill 30 minutes. I think if they really wanted to, they would have every show be a premiere.
I think you're getting at that point, but then you're looking at having, I guess Naruto Shippuden as a premiere at 3:30 is fine.
But you can't really put high-profile premieres at the
That's the point. That's what I'm saying. That's why everything's gonna have to move down 30 minutes, because they're gonna have to put a high-profile premiere like Attack on Titan towards the front of the block.
Right.
So we'll see.
Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter episode 138, Plea and Favor. In this episode, an SCP.
SCP?
Oh, you're not the guy who was talking about that.
Secure, protect,
contain, and protect.
Yeah, secure, contain, protect. Okay, brief history since you don't know what that means. It's like a community of people online who write sci-fi fantasy stories about like mysterious objects that the government is hiding from people, and so they come up with these cool ideas about an object that's hidden away by the government at like Area 51 or something, and it's just some crazy object, and people come up with all sorts of them, just for fun.
It's a writing community based on you have to write the containment procedures for Cthulhu.
Yeah, and you have to write it as if it was like an official government document, so it's all like very verbose and kind of written. It's a fun writing exercise and sort of sci-fi twist storytelling thing to it.
I think the most famous one is probably the statue that breaks your neck, just like only moves when you're not looking at it.
Yeah.
And breaks your neck.
Yeah, and so this girl, Aluka, is very reminiscent of something that would have been written on that website.
Huh, interesting. How do you come across this website?
I don't know, I heard about it years ago.
You just kind of come across it.
You'll have to Google it. There's a bunch of really interesting. You can kind of get lost in there reading about these fictional objects. But yeah, Aluka is like they literally lock her away like they would one of these SCP objects because
containment procedures.
They got a container. Now, my guess is here, and it seems obvious, but I'm just going to say it, is that like the whole reason that she's behind like 6 giant coded doors is because they don't want any chance of someone talking to her.
Right.
Because if they did, then the whole cycle starts over, I guess, and somebody could die.
Then shit just goes off really quick.
Yeah, they were explaining her power set over the course of the episode, and it was just kept escalating to like, what the hell? The what?
Basically,
the shit hell, and just kept going like on and on like that.
Yeah, so it's basically if you wish something and that depending on the level of wish you make, her demands sort of get crazier, and Aluka's demands get crazier and crazier. And if you don't do them, basically you and everyone you've ever cared about will die.
No, that's not it. See, it's way more complicated than that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Here's the way I think it works. And correct me if I'm wrong. Grex, do you know, by the way, before I say this?
I've forgotten the details.
Okay, so here's what I think it is. So I go up to Aluka and I say, I want $1 million.
Right.
She gives me $1 million right away. But before I can ask her, I think before I can ask her that, I have to take I have to provide something. I have to answer her demands for the last person who made a request. So if the last person, let's say, asked for 50 cents, then she's going to say, give me a piggyback ride. And I got to do 4 little things like that. And then she'll grant my wish.
And then you ask for $1 billion.
Now I ask for $1 billion. Immediately $1 million appears and I have $1 million. The next person that goes to Aluka and makes a wish,
fucked.
They're fucked. And so are like 100 people related to that person because they have to now atone. Well, first she will ask for something that you can't deliver. Like, I want your intestines, or something that you can't really do. And so when you fail 4 times to give her what she wants, then you and I don't know, X number of people that are related to you that you care about are just smushed into nothingness.
Right. The wishes depend on the level of thing you wished for. So if you wish for $1 to go hit the vending machine, she's not going to ask for a whole lot of shit.
She's going to be like, oh, can you lend me 50 cents? Or can you lift me into the air? But if you say I want $1 million, that's when she's like, I want your heart.
Yeah, she's like, give me your spine.
Give me your...
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the question I don't know. Wasn't made clear to me, is that how does she know who to make the demands of? Does that happen after the next person makes the wish, or is it just the next person she literally talks to?
I assume they're going to maybe spell that out.
Okay.
B-dubs, do you want to...
Okay, so it's Aluka is sort of...
Well, wait, hold on. It sounds like you know. Is it going to be revealed in the future?
There's way more going on with Alika than you have any idea about. Like,
but
even
is it going to come up in the next few episodes?
In the next few episodes, yes. Like,
okay,
what you got here
then you don't need to explain it.
Right.
We'll
no,
just
I'll just say what you got here was an imperfect explanation.
Okay.
Which is why it kind of doesn't make sense.
Confusing. Okay, cool.
But
we'll get the full explanation here soon.
Right. Like, there's stuff that the people making the explanation don't actually know about.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
But the person making the future explanation does. Like, there's one person that knows exactly how all of this works.
Okay. Well, okay. So yeah, we don't need to know then because it's going to get revealed.
So it sounds like there are some revelations are made in the next few upcoming episodes, but then more revelations are made way further down the line, maybe in manga material. Is that what's
no? Alika's thing gets explained entirely in this arc. The question as to what gives Alika this power comes after, and like we'll talk about that at sort of the podcast covering the last episode, because I can't tell you without completely spoiling this huge twist that happens.
All right, don't say any more. That's enough.
Right.
The twist that happens in the elections arc, or the twist that happens further down the road?
Like the last.
Like literally just after the election arc ends, and then we sort of get an episode or two of Drawdown. I don't know, but it's sort of like the lull between the election arc and the next manga arc.
Is that in the anime, or is that?
Yeah, no, it's covered in the anime.
Okay.
But sort of the full explanation of Alika is in the manga material, and it's fucking crazy, man. Like, you all have no idea what the hell's going on. Like, it's some shit.
All right.
So yeah, Alika's crazy, but she could totally fix Gon, I think. It's just, man, the next request would literally kill everyone on Earth, probably.
Well, yeah, maybe. And everybody in the thread, oh god, I got so sick of reading these posts. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but like, you should know. It's like they keep going like, well, why don't they just wish her to not have these rules? And it's like, I mean, you've heard of genies, right? You know how genies work. You can't wish for wishes. It's the same thing. It's like you can't wish for the rules to not work the way wishes rules work.
Because that would break the plot.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like,
right.
You just, I mean, I understand like the obvious thinking there, but it's like also it creates like paradoxes and loopholes. It's kind of like, oh, are you going to wish for her to not use her powers anymore, but still get your wish? Well, then what's the consequence of your wish? She didn't have her powers anymore. It's just it's a paradox. So that's not going to happen. What?
It's kind of one of those checkmate atheists, ridiculous thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it's just
it makes more sense when you fully understand where Alika's power comes from and what it is exactly, because it's like everything we sort of know about the series so far is essentially turned on its head in basically the last episode.
I can't wait. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Nope.
Also, there was also some election stuff, apparently. I forget what it was.
Yeah, what was it? They didn't have enough voters in the first round, so they had to redo it. Because 95% of the people had... Yeah, something like 95% of the people had to vote.
And I think they determined that the way they're going to get around this is now you have to vote or you're not a hunter anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Gon can't vote.
Well, I mean,
they are perfectly fine able to make exceptions.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure they're going to give exemptions for people who physically cannot vote
or cannot. Yeah, they can't. Like, I'm on this mission, I can't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, or I'm dying and I'm unconscious, so.
without revealing a spoiler or anything, because I don't think there's anything related to this, but maybe just in case, if Hisoka lost his license, like would that really mean anything?
No.
He probably wouldn't give a shit.
Well,
like
he would actually lose access to a bunch of really good resources for stuff.
Yeah, like he likes to hunt down strong people and then fight them. Like his life would just be harder if he lost his license.
Okay.
Like he could still do what he does. It would just cost him more money and be harder for him.
And he would also, I mean, because the thing with him, like a character like him, is like he's so ruthless. I just don't think he would. He doesn't care about breaking the law.
No, he doesn't give a shit. Like he's totally fine with killing people as long as he gets to fight strong people.
So yeah.
I will note that a lot of characters are coming back.
Oh yeah, we've already seen Leorio in the opening.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you saw Bisky at one point, and
I figured that was just a cameo.
Yeah,
I figure most of it's going to be cameos, like, oh, we came back for the election, and also we visited Gon.
Yeah,
remember when we were here? Yeah.
I mean, it's still pretty cool that it's like, oh, there's Bisky,
There's that dude, those dudes from Greed Island.
Yep.
That girl from the exam arc, I think, was there too. I thought so. Somebody from the exam arc. I swore I saw somebody.
The ninja guy was there.
Okay, maybe that was it. What happened to? Did he die? What happened to that jerk from the exam arc at the beginning?
Oh, Tompa.
Yeah.
He's not a hunter.
He's just not in the show anymore. He's not a hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, he never passed. That's right.
So that was the guy who was kind of was that the guy who was trying to get everyone to drink like spoiled juices? What was his deal? He's just an asshole for the sake of being an asshole.
He's literally an internet troll.
Yeah, he's basically he knows that he can't pass the exam, so he's like, fuck it, if I can't pass, nobody can pass.
What a worthless waste of time.
I know. I'll note that Kilo opened the fifth of those gates. There were like two he couldn't open.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, that dude got strong, and he's also pissed.
I don't know what to make of Killua's dad as far as a character. Like, I don't. It's weird. I mean, he's got to be evil, but he doesn't really come across that evil.
I'm not sure he's got to be evil though. Does he?
I don't know. I mean, when you're the leader of an entire family bred to murder people, it's kind of evil.
Yeah, it's kind of evil, but it's not like
you lock away your own daughter in like a vault. That's kind of evil.
I know.
But
at the same time, locking Alico away is kind of saving the world. Because if someone makes a wish and they don't, and it's big enough, and they don't, and nobody does what she needs them to do,
I get it. I mean, I get that. I mean, and it's also self-preservation too. I mean, obviously, but
I feel like I have a hard time categorizing the Zoldyck family, or at least what we know about them, as evil. Like they're certainly willing to do immoral things such as murder and assassination and whatnot. But the way to conduct themselves, the type of jobs they do, it's really hard for me to come away with them as
they're the assassin character who's like, oh, we don't do that dirty stuff like robbery and rape and such. We're civilized.
I don't believe you. Because that wasn't the granddad who was fighting Crollo was pretty much like, I'll do anything for money.
Well,
but
yeah.
I remember that same granddad was upset when they hurt what's her name?
Komugi.
Oh yeah, when they were ambushing the palace, they accidentally hurt Komugi, and he was like, "What the fuck, dude? I didn't sign up for this shit. I killed a giant bug alien, not a little girl. What's going on?"
Literally, the second Illumi killed the people who hired him to kill Crollo, he was just like, "Well, see you later."
The Zoldicks kind of come across to me a bit like if you watch Game of Thrones, like the Faceless Men, where they'll do whatever job you want them to do, but you need to pay them enough to do it. Like they'll kill, whoever you want them to kill, but it's like if you want them to kill somebody that they're like, man, that's just wrong, they're gonna charge you like an arm and a leg, and you're really gonna have to, pony up.
Well, to me, that kind of character isn't morally sound.
Right. No, I mean, they're not, but at the same time, they're not sort of blatantly evil either.
My take on it.
I feel in the context of Hunter x Hunter, we haven't seen them like kill like children or like I think crimes you consider like irredeemable. I don't think we've seen them do that. Like we've seen them like do like regular murders, but within the context of the Hunter x Hunter world, I don't find those acts irredeemably irredeemable. Like there's been no children killed, there's no raping or like there's things
I kind of feel like
but I don't think I've seen them cross that line within the context of Hunter.
I kind of want to say maybe they did, but then I can't really call it out that they did. But you're probably right. Let's assume they didn't. Let's assume they've only ever like assassinated people that quote unquote could deserved it. Then yeah, that's not too bad. I will say the mom character definitely comes across to me as pretty unfeeling and uncaring regarding her children versus the dad, who seems to have some care. Like he's very stern, but I think he cares about his kids.
I would agree with that assessment.
Yeah, because the mom who's wearing the Geordie LaForge glasses is just like, I don't know, like seems like every time she's been on screen back when they first met her, and and they had the arc with the butlers or whatever, that she just seemed like a real monster to me at the time. Just unfeeling. But I don't know. They're really weird. They're very unusual characters. They're hard to classify. And this dad especially, because he just sort of sits there and doesn't really emote. And you don't really know what he's thinking.
Yeah. So that's Hunter x Hunter. Alika's freaky.
Oh, Alika is like hella fucking freaky, and like she could literally kill like half the world by accident.
So basically, she's Thanos.
I mean, yeah, basically, like you make the wrong wish and then don't do what she wants. Like a crazy amount of people could end up dead. And so, they kind of have to lock her up, but at the same time, locking her up like that it's pretty not cool and evil.
So, that'll about do it for this episode of the Toonami Escape Podcast. Thanks, Crocodile.
Excuse me?
It's the end of the episode. Thanks for being here.
You're very welcome.
Caller.
Spaced out for a second. I don't know what happened. That was weird, but I'm all right.
Good to see you're all right. Caller, thanks for being here.
No problem.
B-Dubs, thanks for all the stuff. All this swag that I got from you.
Swag?
You got any swag?
Physical items, or are we talking about?
No, nobody got swag.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 146. Good night, everyone.